we start business. That is Apollo 17 spacecraft in 1972 taking a picture of the Earth. I gather that somebody somewhere is even now addressing people on the subject of water, and I understand that more than 70 to 80% of public lectures in water show this slide. As you see from the color, more than 70% of the surface of the Earth is water. 97.5% of the total water is salt. Fresh water is only 2.5%. Out of that, what can be economically made available to the human is only 0.6%. So immediately you know fresh water amount is extremely small. Furthermore, Earth does not get water from anywhere else, nor gives water to anyone else. Water cannot be created nor destroyed. Water is finite. Every day, water is getting more and more polluted. Every day, human population is increasing. So you have a simple equation. Every day, fresh water per human is decreasing. Perhaps it is for this reason that King Parakramabahu many years ago made a statement. He said, every drop of water that falls from rain on my kingdom shall not go to the ocean without being of service to mankind, as reported often in Sri Lanka. Indeed, this is being even said abroad. What I am trying to tell you is that statement that I read is not the one that the king mentioned. This was told to me by Professor Madhu Mandara, former Vice Chancellor of the University, about a year ago. Sarat, he never said of service to humankind. What he said, if you go to the original Mahavansa, chapter 68, page 207, sorry for giving a singular term to you, Lopakarayan Venva. What is Lopakaraya? Whole world, all living beings. Professor Kudasuriya frightened me this morning. 100 million. We are just one. So please remember, water is for all living beings as mentioned by the king. Now here, next, I want to get some opinion, and I need your cooperation. How many of you have studied the chemistry of the water molecule? Please put your hands up. In school, chemistry of the water molecule. One. Of course, it's in the A-level syllabus, is it not? Can a teacher help me if a teacher is here? Okay, I will assume, therefore, that you are not studied, and therefore I will not go into details. But now, on early saying, yes, we have studied. Nevertheless, this is the water molecule. And first we will take on your left hand side. Oxygen atom, 2 hydrogen atoms, H2O. Oxygen is electronegative, so you have a small net negative charge. Hydrogen is electropositive, so you have a small net positive charge. Oxygen has 2 what's called lone electrons. So in summary, water has a negative charge on one side and a positive charge on one side. It's like a battery. Furthermore, the electron pair, they hate each other. They are both negative, they hate each other. So they bend the water molecule. That's why water molecule has a bond angle of 104 degrees, because it's bent. Let me say a strong statement. No substance in the whole world has this structure. Repeat, no substance in the whole world has the structure of water. Because of the structure of water, it has unique properties which no substance in the world has. One of those properties is its ability to dissolve almost any substance. And then also it can dissolve other bodies through these charges, because the negative charge of the oxygen will go to a sodium chloride molecule and fix on to the sodium which is positive. Then the negative side, the oxygen, will go on the other side and fix on to the chloride. I cannot spend too much time on this. But imagine sodium chloride is a salt in the kitchen, it's a solid, the atoms are very much close together, that's why it's a solid. If the atoms are far apart, it becomes liquid. And the water molecule, because it's dipolar, has a plus sign, minus sign. The plus sign goes towards the negative chlorine, the minus sign goes towards the positive sodium. Poor sodium chloride is removed. That's the chemistry of dissolving salt. Another entirely different substance is sugar. All of you know. Tux, you can dissolve sugar. So water can dissolve sugar, salt, vitamins, proteins, minerals, amino acids, everything that is good. So that's why plants grow nicely, beautiful scenery. Water is beautiful. Water is a wonder. This is where Candy Lake. I hope those who are out of Candy to a good look. Then living beings, bone-biller birds, enjoying the water. Looks like they have come for their annual meeting or something and have a little time, so they are enjoying themselves. The buffalo, the elephant, the rhinoceros don't have sweat glands like you and I. That's why the buffalo goes to the water, the elephant to the water, the rhinoceros to the water. So how important water is. The wonder of water. This buffalo, I love this fellow. Write down, or my university professors gave me this. See how happy that buffalo is. Would you like to talk to him? Hey, what are you thinking today? I wish I could. See, when the buffalo goes there, the body temperature goes down, the pulse rate goes down, the appetite increases, food consumption increases, milk production increases, and farmer will tell you, I love to get the buffalo from the water out. Plow my land. He is so very happy. Who are those? Polar bears. Now there can be difference of opinion. I say they are having fun. They are smiling. One of my good friends, a professor in the vet faculty, said, no, sir, they don't have muscles on their mouth. How can they smile? What are you talking? So he said, no, they can't smile. Then I have another friend, a professor, this time a lady. What does he know? Has he brought up dogs in the house? I have so many dogs at home. Oh, they are smiling when I come. Now what do you say? Or I say they are smiling. Now all this, I made you smile. You are happy about the good things with water. Now, I am sorry now to tell you the bad things with water. The very structure of water, which can dissolve those things, can cause harm, sickness, and death to all living beings. course, it can dissolve almost anything I said. Dissolve nickel, dissolve cadmium, dissolve arsenic, dissolve mercury, dissolve toxins, dissolve all kinds of harmful substances. So, the smiling polar bear is smiling no more. It's thermal pollution this time. Because of the activities of the human, the poles, ice melting, the distance between the islands increasing. As a result, the polar bears who run 15 miles a day on the ice, looking for cracks on the ice, looking for water and trying to catch the seal. The polar bear can smell the seal 1 mile away. Now how to run on the ice? Now to go to the next island we have to swim. And sad to say, many polar bears die in that fatigue. And the polar bear population is dwindling. Now we come to the non-living things. This is Greece I am taking you to now. Athens. There was a temple there called the Parthenon. I know many of you are very well read, you must be knowing some of these things. Parthenon, lots of marble there in that temple. And acid rain, see rain polluted by CO2, NO2, SO2, low pH, fell on this. I saw an article recently by somebody protesting against the coal power plant in Sri Lanka. It will cause acid rain and ruin, damage some of our temples. So here is an example of the world's most beautiful piece of architecture damaged by acid rain. There were statues inside this made of pure marble. They got damaged until the British ambassador who was there bought them for 35,000 pounds and took them to the British Museum, where I am going to take you now. This is the marbles which were in the Pantheon, are now in the British Museum. When you grow up 5-6 years, you go to England, go to the British Museum, remember this lecture. Go to room number 18 and look at the marble statues which were brought here. Coming back to Sri Lanka. Now I have to get serious. This is Mahavali River, a picture taken by my friend from the Peradeniya Bridge. I love this slide, beautiful blue skies, the trees there, the mountains, and some people might like the color of the water. That is what you call pollution. Water must not be polluted like this. What happens here? On the sloping land, no more forest. Climate change, rainfall constant, but high intensity rains increasing, 30-degree rains. Then the soil gets eroded. Soil comes down. Soil is lost. 1 inch soil, I am soil scientist, 50,000 years to make 1 inch soil. One rain brings it all down. When I joined the agriculture department so many years ago, we had a strong soil conservation program. But our knowledge was not all that great. Not only us, others in the world thought of soil loss as the important thing. But now we know that soil is bringing fertilizer residues to the water, pesticide residues to the water, all the batteries and various things that you throw onto the land, oh, they all end up in the water. No matter where you throw, it ends up in the water. And this water goes to reservoirs. So, I will come back to this forest story. Professor Kulasubriya mentioned about it. Number one priority. And you and I, civil society, have to get together and attack this problem of deforestation in a big way. Now, next 6-7 minutes, I have to go abroad now. This is Lake Erie, and I have to talk at length about pollution of Lake Erie because many, many principles are there. Lake Erie, you know, borders Canada, North America. And 400 years ago, there was not a single European here. It was the Native Americans here. They were called Red Indians, not anymore. By mistake, I may call them Red Indians. Please forgive me. We should not, that is the name Columbus, I think, thought he landed in India when he came to US. So he called them Red Indians. Now Red Indians were here, and there are 5 Great Lakes, and they said to the Europeans, the sweetest water is in Lake Erie. That means the best water quality was Lake Erie. And how big is Lake Erie? How big is Candy Lake? You can walk around Candy Lake in 45 minutes. You would like to take a walk around Lake Erie? Start from this end, go that tree, and come back. 860 miles. Smallest lake out of the 5, only 14 miles smaller than Sri Lanka. So you can imagine what a big place. Now, when the Europeans went there, I told you water was sweet. Europeans started various activities. They started cultivation, intensified, added chemical fertilizers. They had farms, cattle farms, lots of farms, in confined areas, lots of dung. Dung phosphorus came to the lake. Fertilizer phosphorus came into the lake. They had 140 industries surrounding in this area. The 140 industries, the effluent came into the lake. One of the greatest problems was washing powder. You remember the advertisements in the papers many years ago. The mother, proud, putting the girls' uniforms on the rope and saying, whiter than snow, whiter than snow, boy. I am using tide, I am using sunlight or whatever the advertisement. Deadly phosphorus, 15% phosphorus in that. Substance called STPP, sodium tripolyphosphate. Sodium tripolyphosphate was the winner for the detergent industry, and they brought in 15,000 kilos of phosphorus to the lake. Algae formed. When algae formed in the lake, no more navigation, no more ships, no more boating, no fishing, no swimming, tourism, picnicking, everything finished. Now, this is okay. There were 65 rivers bringing water to Lake Erie. And one night, in June 1969, when I was a graduate student in USA, would you believe one of the rivers called Cuyahoga caught fire? River catching fire? Yes, because it was so polluted. And all the algae on top, algae dried on algae, and it caught fire. The next day's television, newspapers, Canada on fire. They felt ashamed, disgraced. And let me tell you, 2 groups fought actively after that day. You, the school children of Canada, got into the streets and protested for polluting the rivers. Other ones, housewives. They protested. They went to Parliament. New laws, you were mentioning about laws. New laws were brought so that today phosphorus is banned from laundry detergents in many countries. So that took place. Then the 2 countries got together, got into an agreement, Canada-USA Water Quality Historical Agreement, to stop pollution. Scientists got together, researched, and then they controlled pollution. A great event that humans brought about pollution. Humans solved the problem. But not for long. Not for long. 3-4 years ago, Lake Erie is polluted lake. Now this is first principle I want to tell you, how man can put industries, whiter than snow, uniforms, and cattle for beef and mutton and whatever, and bring health. Number one. Number two, today the scientists are unable to solve. Human problems are one thing. Scientists cannot solve some of these biological problems. You must remember. Hope to listen to Professor Amarasiri properly. So many millions of organisms, different functions, different relationships, different interrelationships. We can't even dream of their needs, their sensitivities. So today, 2 task forces have been appointed, one by Canada, one by North America. And scientists have not solved the problem. They have not been able to solve this problem. That's it. So that one, with all the science, all the scientists, all the research culture, all the research funding, cannot. And that reminds me of a nursery rhyme that I knew when I was so small. Maybe you also know that nursery rhyme. So I can't sing, you know. I really can't sing at all. Maybe many of you can nicely sing, but I can tell the nursery rhyme, and in your own mind you can start singing silently. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's forces and all the king's men couldn't put Lake Erie back again. Okay? You like that song? Alright. So now from Lake Erie, I want to mention, Professor mentioned about the bad algae remaining and the good algae going. This is one fellow who is responsible. Zebra mussel, which came to the Lake Erie from Eastern Europe on the ships. That fellow is eating only the good algae. See the problems that the human is facing, unexpected. Who thought about zebra mussel 5 years ago? Now we come to Sri Lanka. I told you about phosphorus problem in Canada. Now I am going to talk quite a bit about the phosphorus problem in Sri Lanka. This is carrot, you know that. And farmers in Bandaravilla, Nuwara, who grow vegetables, highly lucrative, lots of money, they add lots of fertilizer. It grows nicely. Farmers add 5 to 10 times the amounts of fertilizer recommended by the agriculture department for a number of reasons which I don't have the time to explain to you, but that's a world record. That's a world record. When you add such a lot of phosphorus to the soil, soil phosphorus builds up. Naturally, virgin land, 10 ppm phosphorus in soil. International agreements through science, experience, 30 ppm is enough. If you have 30 ppm in a soil, no need to add too much more. Your yields won't increase, your profits certainly won't increase. But here in Sri Lanka, our average phosphorus content in soil is not 30. It is about 50 or 60. Second world record. There are some farmers who have 200, some 300, one 400. I can give you the address. You see, what have we done in government service? Have we advised these farmers about that? That's another story. Now 2 world records. Now when you had so much phosphorus to the soil, what happens to its chemistry? Now I am going to talk some chemistry. Look at this graph. On the x-axis, soil phosphorus. On the y-axis, what is called runoff. Now, I'll tell you in simple terms. Imagine a potato farm. With so much of phosphorus we have put, 200 ppm, 300 ppm, and you uproot potato. You bring the potato up and you disturb the soil also. And climate change, heavy thunderstorm comes the next day, what happens? All that phosphorus gets out of the water. Now at the lower end here, not much of a problem. I'm going to go here and shout rather than trying to use this. I hope you can hear. Here phosphorus is low. Runoff is low. Phosphorus is low because no fertilizer has been added. The minerals, hydroxyapatites, are the ones which gives the phosphorus. They are very, very insoluble. So, very little phosphorus. Then you add fertilizer. What we add is triple superphosphate, dicalcium, monocalcium phosphate. It is very soluble. So, when that is added, the soil reacts with that phosphorus and forms another set of compounds. Now, that is more soluble than here. So, you see, here is one chemistry, the natural chemistry. Here is another chemistry where it is the reaction products the fertilizer. Boy, here is a different chemistry altogether. Never found in Sri Lanka before. Another world record. Because here we are talking of covalent bonds. We have studied at that level, A-level stuff I am reading. These are covalent bonds. And the covalent bonds, bond energy is 50 to 150 kilojoules per mole. Here the soil has finished its ability to react with the phosphorus, and now it is only the surface. It's surface chemistry here. And here the bond energy is only about 20 kilojoules per mole. So you see how the chemistry has changed, the man has changed, the human influence. And once you are here, the phosphorus you add immediately goes to the body. Now also in passing, you must remember, the Americans call this the change point. This is not my term. United States Department of Agriculture, change point. Thing is changing. Now I showed you the graph of phosphorus. There will be change points for nickel, for cadmium, for arsenic. You know, they are in the soil from olden days. So they are operating here. They are operating here. Now they also can go up like this, you see. Once you reach change point. And this change point is 60 ppm for phosphorus. We have still not worked out change points for cadmium, for arsenic, for nickel, for mercury, any of those. We don't have it. Now, the bad news is, more than half the soils in Bandarwal area have exceeded the change point. Another world record. So, we are losing our phosphorus, buying for such fantastic prices, subsidizing 14 times. Government is paying for it. Then, what can happen to the water? I showed you Mahabali River. All that phosphorus will be in the river. Then, I have no proof to tell you that that phosphorus goes to the reservoir. I have no proof to tell you. My proof is this. This is not my data. This is data from the water board. They analyze phosphorus from various reservoirs. From Anuradhapura, we have analyzed the phosphorus. Those months in 2012. Some of these may be from here from HCP. You are question of Putisavam, Goravam, Alavam, Parakram Samudram, Vindhya. Now we don't have to worry about these numbers. You are not supposed to read those. You can't read those. Look at the color. Surely you can see the color. Red color means this is polluted. That color means it's not polluted. So see the amount of our reservoirs, the state of pollution. And you will ask me, there were questions. Hey, how did you put red for that? I know you will ask me. Okay, European Union in 2002 declared anything greater than 0.1 considered as phosphorus pollutant. So it's not Sri Lanka. It is the European Union. Fight with them. According to them, no jokes now. Phosphorus has polluted our water. What does it mean? Tomorrow there can be algal blooms. Tomorrow. Then we will wake up, right? We have not woken up so far. So that is the situation insofar as our reservoirs are concerned on phosphorus. Now, we stop talking about phosphorus. But the same principles which I told phosphorus can apply elsewhere. Now this is another graph that I love, carbon dioxide graph. I took it from Al Gore's book. Al Gore has written a book, former Vice President of USA, The Inconvenient Truth. Please read that book. It's a wonderful book. I gave it to so many friends. This, when they are going to Colombo, they say, Harat, can I have your book for the weekend? I said, yes, but now return. And they call from Colombo and say, you know, I finished 80% of the book. It's so great, that book. So, get your library or somewhere, read this book. Now, these are the carbon dioxide curve. These are the carbon dioxide curve. And 800,000 years ago, what was the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Scientists can work it out. I won't tell you how. I have no time. Anybody can ask me later. Send me an email. 800,000 years. So these are things which I have worked out 100 miles below the surface in the North Pole or something. Now from somewhere here is a great story. In 1959, two American scientists, Revel and Keeling, especially Keeling, chemistry man, okay. He gave up his job, giving so much money in industry, went to Hawaii, went to a laboratory. He said, I am going to be a carbon dioxide analyst. That's my life is going to be. So he collected CO2, he analyzed CO2, found new methods of determining. He tabulated the data, he interpreted the data, and he published the data, and he is remembered today. This is called the Keeling curve. Poor fellow, he didn't make money. He died. So the whole, everybody like you, every child, school, the teacher will be teaching the Keeling curve. Now, the danger is, after somewhere here, oh, it has gone. You know, when I was a student in 1955, my teacher told me, carbon dioxide, 300 ppm in the atmosphere. You know, I am such a nut on this. Before a public lecture, I go to my computer, you can go yourself, and put the question, what is the CO2 content today? Today it's 396. Today I am reading. I looked up before coming. What was 300 as a school child has gone up to 396. That is this red dot. And I am asking, we mentioned about intelligence. Is the human intelligent? Is the human intelligent if the human allows this rise from 300 in the 50s to come to 396 today. And in 100 years at this rate, it will be 1,000 ppm. Human won't be there. If you make 1,000 ppm and disturb the entire organism. So, that's not all. That's not all. Now, this is the atmospheric curve. This is Amarasiri's curve. Okay? What Amarasiri has done is, now CO2 you have measurements, but we don't know about cadmium, arsenic, nickel, all those batteries have that. Every earphone you have is lead. Every car you have is lead. That's fine, lead is recycled in the car. But handphone lead is not recycled. See what we are doing. Putting all that stuff back into the water because you put it into the landfill, it gets into the water. So if somebody can get data, I tell you, this can be the lead curve, this can be the nickel curve, this can be the mercury curve. And then, what is the challenge for you and for me? The challenge is bring it down. No jokes. Bring it down. How to bring it down? At least let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If this planet, if you all are going to see your children, go, and grandchildren, bring it down. Think anew. Think what to do. And as I end my presentation, that is the thought I give. Ask your leaders. Do politicians know about this? Do politicians know that this curve is going up to 1,000 ppm? And do they know it is our job now? Come on, mobilize the people. This is no joke. So, these are my conclusions. Encourage small families. I took something from Professor's talk, new term I learned, and prophecy, if I pronounce it correctly. It's the human who is doing these things who is going to destroy. The monkeys did not pollute the river. The elephants did not pollute the river. Did the crows pollute Malabar? So, and can we change the structure of the water molecule? Water molecule will be polluting forever. So, either human population has to go down, or human's lifestyle has to change. Now, I read 3 times. It is like environmental speech that I am giving you. That this item is last in the database. But nobody wants to talk about it. No politician will ever tell you what I am telling now. And I am only saying encourage small families. I am not saying bring down the poverty. Those are things we have to find coalitions between different groups of people. There are so many ethnic groups, religious groups, sensitive to this subject. Let's discuss, let's talk. Encourage small families. Public awareness. People must know about this. That is why when you go from this, you get this document prepared by many of us, including Professor. We have an organization of professionals. And you are going to carry this form. You have a choice of English, Sinhalese, or Tamil. And we have plans for all the schools to get this document in time to bring about public awareness. Now these are things, this is difficult, I admit, but it's a global thing that we are talking. It is the survival of the species we are talking, not a particular religious faith. Then This is what we can or forestry. Forestry is critical. Forestry is critical. That's why the kings of Sri Lanka had this forestry. And the forestry removal is not only affecting the people in the near area, the whole country, whole of Sri Lanka. You remove forest in the hill country, Karawa water gets spoiled. NCT gets spoiled. So you have to promote forestry and tree crops. Not potato. I was alarmed the other day. I read about a cabinet minister telling, I am going to make the country self-sufficient in potatoes. Come on. That means more forest out, more sloping lands for potatoes. Where is this in the human being? I am questioning this. I am questioning this assumption that the human is the most intelligent of the species. Needs serious re-examination. Okay. Then promote a simple lifestyle. That's not easy. Now, I must introduce this man. His name is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was the richest man in the world. He had 60 billion US dollars. He was the CEO of 42 companies. Poor fellow, he is not the richest man. He gave $40 billion to charity. So he is not the richest man anymore. You have heard of Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, right? They have a foundation. Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation. He donated that money. He is well known for environmental things. And this is what he says. Happiest people do not necessarily have the best things. They simply appreciate what we have. And he says, let us do the simple and smarter way to live. So that is something, because as Professor Kurusoge mentioned, as your lifestyle changes, invariably the price tag, environmental price tag, is proportionately or exponentially changing with advancement of lifestyle. This one, I need forgiveness from non-singular speaking people in the audience. I want to end my presentation with this. About 2 years back, during the Perahera time, when the crowds are in hundreds of thousands here, or even say 5 years back, people used to litter the area. I must say people are much more self-conscious now than at that time. At times, silly bags, bananas, skins, and lunch packets and so forth. That a certain school, I will mention the name in a short while, I saw while driving the car near that school, people looking at the banner. And I couldn't stop the car because it was Perahera time. I came again, this time ready, parked the car somewhere else, went with a piece of paper, then I wrote it. First, I will tell what is in Sinhalese. Adisare rakagani, yadiyama mudana. Igotalana siyalube, ketara ragedya. Nothing great in protecting the environment. Take home all the rubbish that you brought together. A lot of depth in this. And this school is Swarna Mali Girls College, 11 years old. I was so happy with this. The children put this on. So I telephoned the principal the next morning, 8:30. Madam, I am very, very proud of you. What a great principal you are. What great teachers you must be having with a principal like that. And what wonderful children you must be having. You are teaching all the people who are coming from all over the country by putting this banner. You know what she said? Not me. I didn't say anything. It's the girl guides of Swarnamali who did it. It is they who thought it. It is they who composed this. It is with their money that they bought this. They who wrote it down. They have put it down, not me. So, with that thought, and with lots of hope in children like you, I want to thank you very much for listening to my